Hey everybody, my name is Kristián and I'm an orthopedic surgeon. I'm specialized in shoulder surgery, but that's not that important. I don't really identify with this label, but it's actually something what just describes my social status. It describes what I do for a living, how I earn my money. But it doesn't really talk that much about me, myself, my inner being, my true being. But I would like to talk a little bit about this because there is some discrepancy maybe, as I had those experiences which kind of changed my viewpoint on the world. It changed my understanding of who we are, and it changed the way how I look on the medicine, on the way we approach patients, we approach illnesses and pains, and how we actually treat people. That is something what just uh, transformed tremendously during my experiences, which I had when I was a med school student, and young doctor, just beginning my clinical praxis. That's something what just completely transformed my viewpoint, and that's also something what just doesn't really allow me to do the medicine the way it's it's kind of forced from the institutions, because it doesn't make any sense to me. Well, it does make some sense, and to some extent there are some specifics. There are some situations where we are quite glad that we have the opportunity to use the Western conventional medicine, but the approach as whole, it's just it's just wrong in my eyes. And I realized that only after those experiences of expanded consciousness I had in the Amazonian jungle while drinking the amazing ayahuasca brew. Because before I was the usual materialist, I learned what I have been taught at school. I didn't really think about it if it's true or not. I was too young to even be able to probably understand that there could be something not that true in the words they told us. But well, yeah, I was a materialist, and I thought that only what we see, only what we can count, what we can research is real. But I was blessed with the opportunity to get to know ayahuasca, because if you don't know ayahuasca, that's a brew from the vine, which is growing, which grows in Amazonian jungle. And when I traveled through South America or Latin America in my last years of med school, I was drawn to this experience. I didn't know anything about that before, but ayahuasca just brought me to itself, and I fell in love with ayahuasca, and actually with life, because it completely opened my mind. It opened my perception. It opened my heart to something what I was not able to imagine before. And it was so strong for me that the years after, I went back and back and back, and I drank multiple times, and I learned more and more. And in the beginning, like the first experiences there were so powerful and beautiful and amazing, and I just knew that I'm learning experiences from universes and lives, thousands of years of experiences, of wisdom, of different lifetimes and cultures, and there was just so much love and wisdom in there that I really wanted to experience it again and again. But when we came there the next year, something changed there. The taita, the shaman I drank before, wasn't there, so we found another one, and his brew was just incredibly strong, and I was just scrolling on the ground like the whole night, and just wanting to escape somehow, to die, or I was just screaming from the fear and from the despair. And that is something what I couldn't imagine before. I couldn't understand, because I was always fine. There was never ever any problem with me. But that was my ego, which didn't have any problem. But here I experience what actually is the ego. The ego is the sufferer, is the one who makes us suffer. And so there was tough times, and but when I went through this terrifying experience, I've learned how to get out. And it was not that the plant, the brew, actually helped me. I had to help myself to get out of this situation. But when I did, when I found the way how to actually escape those chains, those fears, uh, those pains of the mind, then suddenly everything changed, like instantly. But I had to do the switch. But when I did it, then ayahuasca praised me for that. And after I experienced the incredible, the most beautiful love I wasn't able to imagine before. I loved everything. Especially I loved Mother Nature, the jungle, and the whole life, universe, everyone. But I've learned there that there is so much more to our experience than this physical body. I've learned there that the most powerful source of our suffering is our mind, is our ego. I got to understand that this is actually the thing which makes us stressed, which makes us being in tension. And those time I understood this very well. And I wanted to be a shaman and stuff like that. But the life didn't allow me to go this way, this path, because I didn't have the real experience with suffering people. I need to go to the clinical praxis. I need to stay here already 13 years to meet people in their pain, in their suffering every day. That's what I've seen here. And it is quite difficult to explain my understanding to people who are not open-minded enough to follow. But it's actually the highest truth I got to know, and I want to share it because it's a little bit disappointing to be in a hospital and not being able to share the wisdom I was blessed with. So that's something what I really want to say, that what I've learned there is something much more complex than I would be ever able to understand from my medical education. Medical education is very narrow-minded, and there is great research, there are great tools, they are great for helping people in very difficult situations, but the majority of our problems doesn't have to go that far, and we should be able to approach it much earlier and approach it with this open-minded consciousness, with this awareness that we are not just this body, that we are actually souls having this bodily experience. We are actually the unlimited divine beings which are incarnated in this human body, and we do have this experience. That is something what we cannot deny, but it's not the whole picture. It's the manifestation, and it's a very limited experience to what we truly are. During my experiences there in Colombia, I was many times lying there, sitting, feeling like shit, feeling like the worst one on this whole planet. I felt like I was the one who actually damaged this world, who was the cause for disappearance of our planet. And I was just deep, and during some experiences, that was the actual vision I had, that I was just deep in my shit. I was really deep in the poop I made everywhere, and I was not able to get out. And in my vision, there were still people. Actually, it was my wife, and she was always caring for me. She was always, even though I was this incredible, awful monster, she just cared for me. And I knew that that's her actual nature, and I admired her for that, and that's her nature really, and I admire her for that always, even though it's sometimes difficult. But this is just something what I cannot believe, how empathic and compassionate she is, and that is amazing. But back to my experience, I was just deep in the shit of my ego. I didn't really understand it then, what was the real information. But during those experiences, I realized that what makes me suffer is the fear. And the fear comes from the illusion of my separation from everything else. Because also there I was able to comprehend that that's the illusion. That's just the wall I built between myself and everything else. That's the wall I create for my protection, or for, I don't know why, that's just how it is. I had strong wall of separation, and I still have some, but definitely not that thick as it was before. So I got to know that this wall, this illusion of the separation, or actually the identification with this illusion, is something what makes me suffer. And the suffering just turned off in a second when I realized that that's not who I am. I'm not this person separated from the outer world. I'm not disconnected. I am the same being, the same life, the same love as everyone else. And there I was able to see that we are the same water. The same water is just running through all our bodies, through the body of Mother Earth. We are all the same water. We are the same nature. We are fed the plants and the materials which gave us our Mother Earth. We are the same as Mother Earth. It's difficult to explain here because that's something what you just feel that you are that. You cannot really think about it. You know that your thinking doesn't really make any sense, or it doesn't bring you any real value. You can just feel the truth. And the truth which I got to know there, like the highest truth I recognized, is that I'm love, I'm God, I'm unlimited being, because I've seen myself being unlimited, being out of this time space, seeing myself as this doctor doing stuff here, and also being ashamed, being guilty, being afraid. And I understood from this higher wisdom, from this high viewpoint, from this observing state of mind or awareness, I saw that this person is guilty, is ashamed, is fearful only in the sphere of ego, only in the identification with this separation. But I was somewhere inside, outside, over, above, and I just knew that's me. That's not something what is my illusion, or it's some hallucination. That's just, it's more true than an experience we have normally here in this body, because this body, our brain, is actually some some filter of information. It doesn't allow us to receive all the information there are, because we would get crazy. It's something what can happen, and that's also the state I kind of experienced there. I felt like I'm crazy. I felt I'm schizophrenic. That's the schizophrenia. What was my experience there, and that is something what really terrified me. I thought I'm this ill, and this is something what just scared me so much. But I knew that it is the illusion. No, I didn't know it before. I've learned through the teaching of ayahuasca that actually I'm crazy only when I stay in my mind, when I stay in the illusion of the separation. So the point is, if we want to approach our health from a little bit higher perspective, then we have to admit that we are not this human body, that this is our experience here on this planet, but it's not our whole true nature. We are souls, we are divine beings, and we are one. We are one love, and we are interconnected. We are supposed to work together. We are supposed to help each other. And you know, when I realized that actually maybe I am doomed, maybe I really am going to be this crazy fool, but it might be some future, maybe it's inevitable. But what I can do is to be present here, right now, the best way I can. And the best way I can is to love, to express love, to be love, to live from my heart. And that is something what is the only thing which makes any sense. Because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to be with us in a year or 2 or 20 or 1,000. We just don't know. Anything can happen, and only what we have is our now, here and now. That's only what we do have. And during my ceremonies there in the jungle, when I was able to comprehend this and to actually transform it into real action, my inner action, then everything changed, and I was suddenly the creator of my whole life, of my whole experience. But the creation came from the surrender to God's will, to the will of higher intelligence, higher orchestration, that stuff just happens how it's supposed to. And I'm here to be here, but I'm not here to control everything. I'm not here to be in the guiding position of everything. And when I surrender, I just let go, let it be, I gave in. Then what happened is that you're blessed with immense power at this moment, because you actually are the creator. You are the one who will take the responsibility for own life. And that's what God gives us. The source gives us the free will to do anything. When we surrender our free will, then we get it. So when that happened, I understood that when I really let go, when I accept that I damaged the whole world, that I'm guilty, then I realized that there is no real guilt if I see that I am indivisible from everything else, that I'm non-separable from God, and I'm non-different from God and from the whole life manifestation, that we are all one expression. And there is no such thing as guilt, and there is no such thing as fear. The only thing we need for that is the acceptance of all that is, of all what happens to us. And when I accept it, when I surrender that deep, that far, that nothing was left from my ego at that moment, then I saw the love I can create. I can pour, I can share, I can spread here. I can create a new world of love. But a world which doesn't come from my ego, just flows through me from source. That's what source, what God, what love taught me. That we can create a world of love when we just dissolve our ego identifications, our fears, our sufferings coming from the illusion of separation. One day there will be no earth. It was very difficult for me to accept this, because I felt the most incredible love for our Gaia, for our Mother Earth. And I also saw that there's a day coming when there will be no Earth. And maybe it's billions of years from now when it happens. But I saw it and I was so sad. But then I went through also. I understood that it's the cycle. It's just a matter. And it's a matter of time when the matter dissolves again into pure energy. And we are going to dissolve in the pure energy also. Our bodies, they will just disappear. But we are. That's what we know. That's only what we know, that we are. And we can feel we are love. We are loved. So that is true healing, I think. That's something what we forgot about in our Western medicine. I had this talk on some gathering where there were some physiotherapists, doctors, Ayurvedic doctors or healers, and nutrition therapists. It was great gathering where we met interdisciplinary, and it was very enlightening because we were able to get the glimpses into the field of the other one. I was actually very something what I call integrative approach. It's something what we really need in our medicine to connect the dots, to find the common ways, to find the ways which help people the most, even though if the Western medicine doesn't like the alternative medicine and stuff like that, that's just fighting. Doesn't make any sense. We need to find those integrative approaches, the principles which make sense for the healing, and don't stay closed in our minds. Just don't stay narrow-minded, narrow-sighted. So I had this talk here, and for this I looked for some quotes of big minds, big geniuses of our medical history, and I found this quotes. The one is from Hippocrates, and he said, "The greatest medicine of all is teaching people how not to need it." And the second one is from another great all-time doctor or medical professional, Paracelsus. And his quote is, "The highest degree of a medicine is love." So what else to say? That says everything. We just forgot it. But the original art of medicine is what I've just said. That's what we should learn, what we as professionals should teach people, to not need us. And I think the best approach is the integrative medicine, the integrative approach, where we combine the good points of Western medicine, the valuable approaches, the valuable tools, valuable interventions, and we combine it with complementary approaches, with approaches of sensitive people, sensitive healers who are able to work with our psyche, who are able to work on energetic levels, who are able to work on the more subtle levels of our organisms, who are able to work biodynamically with the neural system. They are amazing approaches. We should put it all together. And the third part of that is the self-care of the patient or of the person. That's the most fundamental and the core truth of all healing, that the responsibility is yours. It's the responsibility for your own health. No medical professional, no healer, no one will help you truly that much as you can help yourself. We can teach you, we can lead you, but you yourself must do the work. And as I said, I think the most important part is that we need to follow our heart. That is something what Etienne Pierceman taught me when I did the interview with him. When I asked him what is how would he approach the patient when he comes with some kind of pain, any pain, and he said, I would go directly to his heart, to her heart, because all the pain originates in the heart, in us not able to listen to our heart, to follow the path of our heart.
This is cranial. What would I do with them? I would, first session, write down, talk to their heart. That's where pain originates. That's where the origin of all pain comes from. That their heart is not felt, is not recognized, is not followed. People don't know even that their heart is, that's where the soul comes from. The soul speaks through their heart. And the soul has something to do here. It all comes from their inability to listen to their heart and the courage to follow their heart. And that's our educational system, that's our parents. We have to follow a certain path, and that's it. And you're not following your own path, your own heart, what your heart tells you. You're on somebody else's mission. You're doing something not for you, but for an idea that they gave you. Yes, it's your body talking to you. Hey, 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 you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're not listening to me. That's the body. And of course, the body cannot tell you, so it's going to create pain. That's the only way it knows to get your attention. It's the body getting your attention. And if the body wants your attention, it's basically your soul through your body who wants to tell you something that you're off track. Very simple.
And that's also what I've learned in the jungle. To come down from our mind to our heart and to follow the heart, to be in the heart, to stay conscious in the heart. Because when we are not following what we love, when we don't do what we love, and when we don't love what we do, then we are definitely in some kind of imbalance, which is going to create some illness or pain sooner or later. That's the core truth. And that's the core approach which we need to integrate. There's no reason to I don't say that conventional medicine should be abandoned, but we should just understand that we somehow forgot the core truth of our health. And if we want to regain it, because I think the Western medicine is approaching some kind of dead end, philosophically, ethically, economically. And we should integrate new approaches, the new paradigm. I think it lies in the integrative medicine. So that's it. We'll talk about integrative medicine next time. But a love, a heart, that's the core truth we shouldn't be forgetting. That just doesn't make any sense to live without this understanding, without this truth integrated in our daily life. So take care and love life and live love.